Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and today we are talking about FROGIXT and our favorite victim royals being invited to the coronation and supposedly attending. FROGIXT. On February 28, it was reported that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have been evicted from Frogmore Cottage following the release of Spare. The cottage was featured in their Netflix soap opera, and prior to them moving in, the renovation cost the sovereign grant £2.4 million. 6 months after moving in, they moved out following Megxit in 2020. Faced with criticism over the pricey renovation despite planning to leave, the taxpayers' money was later paid back by Prince Harry. And now, they're evicted. It's unknown whether or not they're going to fight the eviction. A source told Page 6 that Britain's monarch, King Charles, started the eviction process on January 11, the day after Spare had its global release. Prince Andrew has reportedly been offered Frogmore Cottage, but he is apparently resisting the idea to move from the Royal Lodge, which is a much larger property in Windsor. He may be forced to leave if King Charles cuts down the annual £249,000 grant for the lodge's maintenance. Since the announcement of their eviction, there were many theories on who leaked the news and why. Many people also theorized that Meghan and Harry leaked the news to make King Charles look bad because he hadn't officially given Archie and Lilibet titles, but as of March 8, Archie and Lilibet officially have the Prince and Princess titles. Now, I am going to make a whole separate video on the titles alone, so stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. But here is what happened exactly in this order. First, we have FROGIXT. Then, Meghan and Harry were spotted beaming at the paparazzi directly after the news. Then, People magazine exclusively reported that Princess Lilibet's christening has taken place, thanks to a spokesperson for Meghan and Harry. The titles were then officially changed on the royal family's official website. Meghan was then seen beaming at the paparazzi while out for brunch in Hollywood. And finally, Harry made an appearance at Better Up's Uplift Summit on March 9th. So as for the rumors that they were going to take a break from the public eye, well, that's not true, but I already called that. One thing you guys have to know about Meghan and Harry is that they have a tight-knit relationship with mainstream media, especially People magazine. Now, this isn't to hate on them or anything, but it's a fact that many celebrities, if not all, have their publicists speak on their behalf to outlets like People magazine, Us Weekly, E! News, and so on. It's just that some celebrities are more calculated than others, and if you are a fellow celebrity or an industry insider, you can elaborate for our viewers in the comment section below. So of course, speaking through People magazine, an insider said that Harry and Meghan considered the Windsor property as a safe haven in the UK for their family, but added they are not trying to fight the eviction. Their camp actually confirmed the news when their spokesperson told People, "We can confirm the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been requested to vacate their residence at Frogmore Cottage." I see they're still using their titles as formalities, which yes, is their right or whatever, but it just goes against their entire story about not caring about the titles and the position they hold and yada yada yada. The source said that they are matter of fact about being requested to leave Frogmore Cottage and aren't trying to overturn the decision. The source adds that Harry and Meghan are happy to raise their 2 children in California, where they moved in 2020 after stepping back as senior members of the royal family. People magazine writes, however, those close to the couple say the decision is unfortunate, especially in terms of, can you guess what? Security. As Frogmore Cottage in Windsor was a haven for the pair and their children when they visited the UK. First of all, they don't really visit the UK, and second of all, here we go again about security being the cause of everything when we all know that's not true and Harry's claims about security have been debunked. The Times reported that Meghan and Harry believe if we need to move out, we will get ourselves out. The source continues saying, the most alarming thing was that it was a gift from Her Majesty the Queen, and now it is no longer that, but it's okay. Pretty sure the Queen didn't anticipate that her grandson and his American Hollywood wife would have their own version of a privacy tour on Netflix by taking professional cameras onto royal property, where photography isn't allowed, and making up blatant lies to feed their revenge agenda after not being allowed to do whatever the hell they feel like it, but okay indeed. Royal historian Robert Lacey tells people that King Charles is making moves that Queen Elizabeth did not. Charles is now the guardian of the institution. The king just can't sit back, he says. It shows Charles has a steel that his mother lacked. The Queen could never bring herself to confront Harry as an adult. Now this is an interesting point because many people are arguing that the king didn't show this steel when it came to the titles of Harry's kids, as the prince and princess titles were eventually granted after the mockery that Harry and Meghan made out of the royal family. But again, I am making a whole separate video going into the titles and how many people believe that Harry and Meghan basically forced the king's hand when they went out of their way to use the princess title for Lilibet first, as they announced her christening to People magazine. So expect that video to be up after this one, of course. I am working my hardest to cover all bases and I appreciate your patience. Who's living in Frogmore Cottage now? Well, when the news first broke out, it was reported that Prince Andrew was to live there, as I told you guys earlier in the video. Now, a theory has been going around saying that this is a calculated attempt by Harry and Meghan, who apparently exposed the news of their eviction to the press and said that now the royal family is offering it to Andrew because we all know how Harry and Meghan supporters like to use Andrew and his disgraced past as a way to attack those who expose Harry and Meghan, but don't focus necessarily on Andrew. I would know since I get those comments often, as if there is anything left to expose on Andrew. Seriously, the FBI was investigating him, and I'm pretty sure people will live if we here at Scandalous Media decide to put our energy into ongoing conflicts and not something that has already been wrapped up and been held accountable for. Anyway, apparently Andrew isn't the one moving in. A source told OK Magazine that Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank have moved into the Windsor home after being given the keys weeks ago. The Sussexes are disappointed by the move but couldn't be happier that Eugenie and Jack will take it over. They have been staying there on and off for the past few years anyway, the source said. Yeah, this definitely seems like a whole story calculated and orchestrated from Harry and Meghan's camp, especially when the source continues to go on and on about the friendship between Eugenie and Jack with Harry and Meghan. What do you guys think? The source said that Jack's new role will involve him traveling between the UK, the US, Portugal, and whenever he and Eugenie are in the US, they will stay with Harry and Meghan in their Californian home. Another insider told Harry and Meghan's favorite royal reporter, Omid Scobie, that it all feels very final and like a cruel punishment. It's like the family want to cut them out of the picture for good. Harry and Meghan have until early summer to vacate. Initially, they were given just weeks, but now they have at least until after the coronation. So of course, Harry and Meghan are being painted in a pity me light, as if God forbid anyone can take actions against them and their delusions, which they broadcast for us in public. I too would be expected to get evicted if I shit on the entire family. That is the only reason why I am relevant today. OK Magazine writes that Harry and Meghan put any negative headlines amid the FROGIXT furor behind them last Tuesday when they enjoyed a rare date night in LA. Yeah, let's talk about these photos. As soon as the news hit the press that Harry and Meghan have been evicted from Frogmore Cottage, they, as if this was their plan unfolding all along, were photographed when they stepped out for date night at an exclusive $4,200 a year private members club in Los Angeles. Meghan was literally beaming as she got out of the car, smiling from cheek to cheek in the rain. Honestly, she seemed more than happy to see the paparazzi. She's literally like a child when they see candy for the first time. That's how she is when it comes to the paparazzi. Harry and Meghan like to remind us how worried they are and scared of the paparazzi chases that have never happened, but it's times like these where we can see their true feelings about the paparazzi. No whining about the paparazzi now, huh, Megs? Harry was the first to come out of the car, but he just kind of looked out of it and looked very dazed, with many inferring that he was apparently stoned because Harry and talk of his drug use had been at an all-time high thanks to his revelations in Spare that no one asked for. The media just kept talking about how happy and unbothered Harry and Meghan seemed as the eviction news hit the press, but honestly, it all seems very fake and extra posed. The more you try to emphasize something, the more it seems like you have something to hide. I don't doubt that they're upset that the royal family is moving on without them and cutting them off, but they want to play the media game, of course. Pretty sure they are pissed that their actions have garnered no reaction, with the royal family giving them silence when we all know they just want attention. On to news of the coronation. A spokesperson for our favorite royal victim said, "I can confirm the Duke has recently received email correspondence from His Majesty's office regarding the coronation. An immediate decision on whether the Duke and Duchess will attend will not be disclosed by us at this time." Meghan and Harry couldn't wait to let us know that they're invited but thinking about attending. Please. As if you guys would miss out on an opportunity to show the crocodile tears or to even be photographed at a high-profile event. It's not like Hollywood is inviting them to anything, therefore they have to resort to attending private clubs that they pay their way into. But apparently they are coming and the palace is making plans for that. I also heard from a source that Meghan is surely planning on attending, but I will be elaborating more on my blog exposingsmg.com, so go check it out if you want more information. The Daily Mail writes, Buckingham Palace is making plans for Harry and Meghan to attend the King's coronation. Staff organizing logistics for the historic occasion have been instructed to include the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in their program for May 6. Insiders caution that there has been no word yet that the couple have formally accepted King Charles's invitation, which their spokesman revealed was recently sent to them in California by email. One source told the Mail, Harry and Meghan are being factored into all of the planning, the cars, the seating plans, dining arrangements, everything. No one knows for certain whether this means they have definitely accepted. It could, of course, be just in case they do, but it's clearly not a no. The staff are certainly working on the expectation they are coming. A second source with knowledge of Harry and Meghan's thoughts on the issue backed the suggestion that they could fly over, saying, "The indication is that they are, although there is a lot that needs to be worked through first." A palace source also confirmed the Mail story, saying that it was always easier to make plans and provisions that might eventually have to be dropped than to not make any and then suddenly have to get that emotion further down the line.
What?
Anyone else annoyed by Harry and Meghan playing the "oh, thanks for the invitation, we'll see if we can make it" game? Honestly, I can understand why they have to be formally invited, as I discussed in my previous video about betrayal, but I just know that they're not missing an opportunity to play the game like they couldn't care less about the coronation. But we all know that's not true. It's not like they are invited to much these days, and they've been basically salivating at the mouth for years on whether or not their kids would get the prince and princess titles, which they have been granted. And of course, here we have Meghan being photographed beaming in Hollywood as she's smiling at the paparazzi and communicating with them. Doesn't seem like she has any sort of paparazzi trauma like she told us on Netflix. Instead, it looks like she's more than happy to associate with them as she takes her time to walk to the car and smile and talk to everyone. Also, what is up with this forced pose of her hands on her chest and her smiling and laughing as if she's watching a South Park episode? Even the person next to her looks like nothing is being said. But Meghan is more of smile and pose type of thing. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and stay tuned for my next video on the titles. Make sure you have your notifications on so you don't miss the video premiere where I hold a live stream chat and I talk to all of you lovely people. Like and subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see you next time.